doing it for the third time, but we really appreciate your time, giving yourselves to young people in this industry of media and communications. I'd like to also welcome the students from TUT to say, I hope that you use today to enrich yourselves, to really drink from the well of wisdom that is at this table, and some are already sitting on their tables as well. So as the GCIS, we'd like to say welcome to everyone, and we hope that we have a fruitful event, fruitful engagement, and that we can take this further. Just a bit of background why we're here. 7 years ago, GCIS started a panel discussion on women in media. And this was part of a bigger project run by the German Development Agency called Step It Up for South African Women in Media. And we are signatory to something called a statement of commitment to really commit to ensuring that the media are against stereotypes of GBV or any type of gender stereotyping. So this is our contribution to bridging that gender gap within our industry. So that's why we're here 7 years later, but 3 years later with this program. So with that background, I'd like to say welcome to everyone, and hope you enjoy yourselves. Small announcements, the bathrooms are on the last door as you walk out to your left. That's where the bathrooms are going to be, should you need that. And I hope that everyone feels comfortable, and you're most welcome. I'll hand over back to Papama. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tsegofato. Last year, the setup was that you would meet the mentors on the table. But this year we're doing things a bit different, and we're going to allow the mentors to come here on the podium just to introduce themselves, a minute or two, what they do, where they're coming from, who they are, just a little bit in that order. If the mentor is not here, we'll just move to the next one. Can we please have Mate Okaba? She deserves a big round of applause.
Yes. Hello. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mate Amudimu. Confused because everybody, when I say my name is Mate, they say that's a surname. My full name is Mate Amudimu. My experience is I started in the advertising industry way back when, where you guys, some of you were not born, in 1995. That's when I started in the advertising industry. So I've got a lot of experience under my belt. In the ad industry, I was there for 7 years before I left, and I left under very horrible circumstances because it was still highly racial. And highly racial that white people gave themselves permission to call us the K name whilst we were doing business at the time. Then I left because I couldn't fight the battle on my own. You wouldn't see a room full of black women like today. We have become successful in the fact that we are able to dominate the media landscape, the media industry, and there are black women sitting around the table and making very critical decisions and shaping our industry. So from advertising, then I went into broadcasting. And I spent very good years at the SABC. I started at SABC 2, and then I ran SABC 3 for some time. And then I left because I thought, let me try something new. And trying something new was getting into the financial services industry. As boring as hell, because I'm a creative person. I'm creative, I love to create stories, I like to make stories, I like to mold where we are going as a country. So I left the financial service industry and went back into advertising again. where I was the CEO of the Advertising Association of Advertising and Communication. So most of the advertising industries, advertising agencies in the country worked underneath my leadership. So that was my last stint at working, and I've since kind of taken a bit of a break, because sometimes when you work for so long, you need to just resuscitate yourself. So I'm in my resuscitation period, but the 30 years of experience don't deem me inexperienced or unknowledgeable. So I will be able to shape the conversation, and for anything you need to ask or need to know, I know the client side, I know the media side, I know the advertising side. So welcome and have lots of fun and ask lots of questions, because we've got lots of information to share. Thank you.
Very big round of applause, please. Yes, that's more like it. May we please have Mama Ponya Mutewi? Mama Ponya, show some love as they come on stage. They are here for you.
Thank you. So my name is Mama Ponya Mutai. I am the CEO of Frey College, and Frey College is an organization that does journalism and media training, communications training across the continent. We are feminist, Pan-African, and we are always pushing to work with women, because we believe that we cannot have sustainably empowered communities without empowering women. A little bit of my background. I actually started out in geology. My undergrad was in geology, and I worked in the mines as a geologist, and I hated it, much to my parents' dismay, because they were like, this is where the money is, but my heart was not there. And after that, I went to be a teacher in South Korea, and I'm sharing all of this so that you are also aware of the options available to you. And I went to be a teacher in South Korea, and while I was there, I was so shocked at how Africa was represented. Everywhere I look, every time there was a black person in the media, they were begging or they were poor. And this was my first time outside the continent, so I was very shocked that people saw us that way. And so I decided, no, I need to go back home, and I need to change how people see us. And this is where I found myself in journalism. And so I became a journalist, and then later moved on to journalism training and communications training, because how we tell our stories and the narratives that shape people's perceptions about us is one of the most important tools that shape how much money we earn. I don't know if you are aware, but Africans, for example, pay on average 26% more interest rates than the Western world, just because people think that Africa is unsafe. So what we do is not just willy-nilly. It really matters, and it impacts how much our grandparents earn, how much we earn, how much it impacts our daily realities. And I'm really glad to see a room full of women who will, for the next generations, be shaping what our narratives look like. But again, remember, the world is your oyster. If you're feeling like, I don't know if this is for me, do not be afraid to explore and find out what is really for you and what will really make you come alive. Because at the end of the day, we need you to be doing things that make you come alive. Thank you.
A big round of applause. Bigger. May we please have Cleo Mosana on the podium? Big round of applause for her, please. For all the mentors as they go on stage in that order. Big round of applause.
Good morning,
All
everyone,
right?
once again. Am I audible? Okay. You know, I believe in something that says, be the change that you want to see. I started from the bottom, now I'm here. My full name is Cleopatra Mosana, but as you can see, you can call me Cleo. When I say I started from the bottom, now I'm here, I transitioned. Originally, I'm from the Western Cape. People would know that till this day. Things in the Western Cape are not as how they look. So I started working in a call center, but my passion was always been in media. Inspired by Kanyisile Dlomomkhize, I transitioned and I went into not into journalism, into creative writing and PR. And my first job in the media space was at ENCA. So when I say I started from the bottom, production assistant, you know, you're running around, you will never miss a bulletin. So I've never missed a bulletin because I know how to put together a bulletin. And that was not the beginning and that was not the end. I've been in the field for quite some time, moved around in government. I started in Parliament as a media liaison assistant. I rose up the ranks. Today I'm a chief director at National Treasury, what is called the head of communications. What I want to leave you with is that be the change that you want to see and rise every time you get an opportunity. So I'm happy to engage with you. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bongiwe Tshwane is in the house. Big round of applause for her, please.
Morning, everyone. Morning, morning. How are you all? Have you not had coffee? Good morning. How are you all? Why are you not excited to see us? What's going on? Did they do something to all of you? No, you're fine. Are you sure? Okay, let's get this going. So my name is Bongiwe Tshwane. As mentioned, my apologies for being late. Parental duties. My daughter's school held me up. But I am, who am I? I'm a journalist. I am a primetime news anchor currently. For the SABC, I have worked, Nguya Gude. I started off as a tea lady, a stand-in for the tea lady at the Sowetan. That was during the time I was trying to figure myself out because I realized I didn't want to study law. Believe it or not, I dropped out in my third year. Law bored me, and I just thought, no. So when I was trying to figure it out, I stood in for the tea lady and I realized, actually, this is what I think I want to do. And just as I walked around the newsroom, started having different conversations with different individuals at the Sowetan, I then started working as a newsroom secretary. And I also used to take dictates from the sports guys who would go late to soccer matches very late. And I will take their dictates and make sure that their stories make deadlines. When it's time for Caxton to print, we're all ready. Fast forward, I started then freelance writing for the Sowetan. And I then moved to the Times newspaper as an office manager. But the bug to write did not let me go. I wrote and contributed to the TV page. And then I went back to the Sowetan, this time to work for digital. And I wrote for Sowetan Live and Sunday World Live. And then I quickly started to write for the Sunday World newspaper. I did not write Shwashwi, guys. I was writing profiles, and in no time I left. ENCA came calling. I started as a reporter. I moved on to be a deputy assignments editor. I left ENCA after 10 years there. I went to Power FM. I was the breakfast news anchor. I moved after 7 months at Power. Newsroom Africa came calling. It was starting. I started with Newsroom Africa. I was the input editor there. From input editing, I was the head of output at executive level. Guess what I then did? I realized management, not now. I left and I went to the SABC and I'm a primetime news anchor. I'm also a host of a weekend show on SAFM, which is Current Affairs from 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock. I host the Weekend View there. Just recently, until recently, I was doing Ask Khuluma as well, which is in Venak. It's a current affairs show ngesiZulu, and I've just left that show due to time clashes because it now starts at 5, and at 5 o'clock I'm on 404. And yeah, there's a podcast loading. There's a lot loading. So I'm hoping that today we get to engage about the future of the media and where things go. And what you take away from me from this room is that anything is possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bongiwe. The next mentor needs no introduction. From the Tshwane University of Technology, Mr. Chamano Makati.
Do you really have to do this to me? You are so bad. 1997, this was after the dawn of democracy. Many people were asking themselves, what can we do to tell stories, particularly stories of Africans? I was fortunate enough to be part of Great North Theatre. A lot of stuff happened in that period. Many people from the North did not have the voice. A program which many of you loved, for some reason it's not on air now, but Mubango 1997, that's where it started, and obviously through the initiatives of Great North Theatre. That's where my journey really began, but I knew that I wanted to study journalism. I went on, and I pressed hard. Obviously, like any other person, you will have to go to school and all of that. Fortunate enough, I got myself at the SABC, where most people, if you were to check, they would have started their careers there. I was lucky enough to meet really wonderful people. Charlie Kumalo, who was my editor at Radio Channel Africa. This is the external broadcast of the SABC, telling stories of the continent, basically, the conflict, whether you're talking Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and this is where I really spent the better part of my life in radio at. This was until I took a walk, probably just a kilometer and a half. I met colleagues who were at Menton Center before they went to number 5 Summit Road, ETV. A lady called Deborah Patter, who most people feared to death. I know that for a fact. But I told her that I want to be here. I want to start my journey in television. Fortunately, ETV, they were starting at the time. And I told them what I can do, what can be my contribution. I was fortunate enough to get a job from there. I did some work in Johannesburg, quite a number of stories. And the beauty about ETV at the time, which is still the case even now, you're not restricted to beats. I did that until I moved to E-offices in Cape Town. Madiba told us we now have the World Cup. It must have been 2004. And many of you would know that there was a lot apart from what needed to be told from the field of play. And I'm talking the politics of the game. I made my way back to Johannesburg. I knew this is where the stories are going to unfold. The Australians, by the way, they wanted to host the World Cup. And these are stories that I've been telling. Anyway, let's cut it short, really. The Tshwane University of Technology, whilst I was there, makes a call to me to say, hey, come back home. I can tell you very honestly, I could not resist, more so because that call came from my people, and I thought it was really a wonderful opportunity to plow back. And that's where I've been, but along the journey, and those who know my story, I've always been an industry animal. And that's where all of these other things that have come my way in the last 29 years, I'll sort of, bask them all together. The South African National Editors Forum, the Press Council of South Africa, where I've spent more than 10 years in the leadership of these structures until very recently when I said, hey, you know what, it's time to go back to school. And this is the one part I don't like talking about because people give you lots of pressure. When you mention PhD, you get to be asked, how far? What chapter? But anyway, it's been really an incredible journey. We've done quite a number of work. I continue to stay with industry. Currently, I'm with the SABC. I do a radio breakfast show there with focus mainly on stories that affect, of course, my country, my continent, before we talk global matters. I'm happy to engage with you during the course of the day, but that's my story in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Makadi. May we please have Tshwane Govender Bateman.
Morning, students. Morning. Or should I say young ladies? Because I'm not going to be your mom today, I'm going to be your mentor. A lot of you know who I am, but let me reintroduce myself. I am Tshwane Govender Bateman. I started my journalism career and my journey with journalism over 30 years ago. And it's not because I'm super old. It's because I started volunteering at newspapers when I was 12 years old. I started writing for school newspapers. Yeah, we didn't have internet then, guys. I started writing for school newspapers when I was in high school. When I was in first year university at Rhodes, I had my own late night talk show with Rhodes Music Radio. And I wrote for this university newspaper. When I was at UKZN doing my undergrad and honors, I took a year off to edit the Dome newspaper, the UKZN newspaper. So I'm just giving you that background to let you know I was in the same position as you, eager to work in industry. Regardless of where I went, I knew that I had to get a position. And I want to be here today to give you my perspective on what I've done. I've worked with independent newspapers as a senior reporter. I've worked with News 24 as a features editor, magazine editor. I've even worked at GCIS, and then I went into academia, which I absolutely love. And I get to also have one foot in industry when I work with other journalists. So I'm also busy studying. I've got 3 degrees, and I'm studying towards my PhD at the moment, which I hope it inspires you all to graduate and keep graduating, okay? And I look forward to being in this environment with you and teaching you more than a module or subject content. I want to teach you something so that you can just succeed in life.
A big round of applause for her, please. Slindelo is in the house. A big round of applause to her, please. I nearly said Slindelo Maseko, but let me allow her to reintroduce herself.
Okay. Hi, ladies. How are you? Hi, ladies. How are you? Are you good? Good. I think this may be my second or third stint. So one of the things I'm really passionate about is education, as well as mentorship. So I always put up my hand to come and do this event because I've seen actually what it can do. The second time I returned last year, the first group, I think there was somebody who was returning. And she said that she had taken my advice and she was working. She had got an internship somewhere, and she was really, appreciative of some of the things that I'd said to her. So I want you guys to understand that the people that are here today, there's a lot that you're going to gain from it, and don't take it lightly. Actually, ask the questions that you need to ask. Really just feed off of the knowledge that's in this room. But anyway, who I am Slindelo Sibata. I used to be Slindelo Masigane. I'm a broadcast journalist. I've been in the industry for about 15 years now. I started off at campus radio at Voice of Wits. In fact, when I started, I was studying a psychology degree. But I realized that my passion was in journalism, and I pivoted after I graduated with my psychology undergraduate degree. And subsequently, I now have my master's in journalism and media studies. So I'm also like Miss Governor Bateman. I want to pursue my PhD at some point. But yeah, I'm really passionate about human interest stories. I do a lot of court stories. You may have seen some of my stuff on Thabo Bester, Senzo Meyiwa, all of that stuff. And yeah, I'm here to be of service to you. So whatever you need to know, yeah, come to my table.
May we please have Aldrin St. Pierre on the podium. A big round of applause for Aldrin, please.
There's a lot of discrimination here. When the staff of TUT walk up, like the energy in the room, like, woo! See, now we are just there. Hi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aldrin St. Pierre. I'd like to do something just quickly, which is something that I normally do when I do my program directing. MC Benkolung Klole. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Well done. Two students, because sometimes, you know the audience, when you say clap your hand, basasela. They still have that old one. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aldrin St. Pierre. I am the Media Liaison Officer for the Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille. Some of you may not know that I've now jumped and I've left my other colleagues here. Abo Slindelo, breaking news. I'm now on the other side. I'm now the person who's misunderstood when I try to explain to Abo Slindelo, no, Slindelo, this is what we mean. So I'm the Media Liaison Officer for the Minister of Tourism. I have a broadcasting background. I used to be on radio as well as TV. My table is right over there, and I'll be focusing on radio presenting. And just quickly, that's where I started my journalism career in radio broadcasting, a community radio station in Ekurhuleni, Katlehong called Kasi FM. That's where I started. From Kasi FM, went to Jozi FM, YFM, 702, Jacaranda FM, Power FM, and then I moved into TV, where I started with the SABC, and then ENCA, back to radio, where I then became presenter on Power Talk between 9 to 12, and then later on went back to TV with the SABC, and radio once again at the SABC for SAFM, where I hosted the drive time show there called Beyond the Headline, which was a very, very interesting journey for me. And just quickly want to touch on that, by the way. So some of you may not know SAFM, which is a talk radio station. So SAFM used to have what I believe to be a very conservative audience. Very difficult to have contemporary conversations with them that challenges their comfortability. And I am a homosexual man. And it was very, very difficult for me to speak about my love on radio because, as some people would argue and listeners are like, no, you are promoting homosexuality. And like, but you do not expect me to leave myself. You cannot expect me to leave me at the door so that you can go on to continue to enjoy my skill. Because that's what they've argued. The argument was that, no, we just want you for your skill, but I am holistically me, including my sexuality as well. I can't leave that at the door. And a lot has changed since then on SAFM. And then I moved on to Newsroom Africa, where I hosted the breakfast show between 6 to 9. And that breakfast show, once again, as you guys know, that Morning Live is the biggest breakfast show in the television breakfast show in the country. And what we've done with that show, quite interestingly, is we managed to become almost like head-to-head with Morning Live and competing. And that brings me to the point that I want to make now as I leave. Be ambitious. Whatever you do, be ambitious. Bring your whole self. There's nothing that you leave at the door. You bring your whole self, you be ambitious and achieve your goals, and definitely ask questions and uncomfortable questions as well. Thank you. I look forward to the engagement.
Yes, keep it coming. No, that's more like it. May we please have Mr. Aldi Modise on stage, please. A big round of applause.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies. There are no gents here, well, except those who are doing duty at least. Good morning. Sure, where do I start? So in my previous life, just so you know, I used to lecture at the Soshanguve campus. I lectured broadcast journalism there. That would have been 97, 98, 99. So don't ask how old I am, because I was very young at that time. I felt I don't belong here, not now. So at no point in my life did I want to be a doctor and a lawyer or anything like that. I've always been clear, I want to be in the media space from the word go. And then I got a scholarship to go to Tshwane University in the early 90s before democracy reached us. I went to do journalism and media studies there. Broadcasting has always appealed to me. I've always loved people who can use their voice to influence others. Right? But also the art of writing has always been a very compelling attraction as well. So I did my journalism studies, and of course campus radio, had just arrived in South Africa. This is like early 94, 95. Just got our democracy, and the Independent Broadcast Authority, the forerunner to modern day ICASA, licensed its sets of community radio stations. We got a license at Rhodes Music Radio started, and some of the people that I was with on that station have gone on to become big names. I mean, Stephen Grotes was part of the team I worked with on that campus station. There were others that came afterwards. But why I'm saying this is because the profile that one built from that engagement and that particular stint with campus radio helped, like Aldrin has just emphasized now, it helped in making sure that it sharpens your skills, but it also prepares you for, in the Sasco language at that time, the battles ahead. And then I went on to, so part of the work, some of the stuff that I did at that time was during my vacations, I used to work for the SABC Radio News as a news writer and compiler for Metro Desk. It was called Radio Metro in those days. And I think I would like you guys to use this opportunity to really learn more. I mean, I've seen, very erudite practitioners of the craft. executives in their own right, willing to share their skill and their knowledge, and really to just induct into the world of communications and marketing. I'm currently employed by the Gautrain Management Agency. I work as a senior executive, responsible for the portfolios of comms and marketing. But prior to that, I had served for 14 years as a spokesperson for the Ministry of Environment. Minister Edna Molewa, may her soul rest in peace. Upon my departure, Minister Barbara Creasy, and I've worked for the GCIS as well as an assistant director many years back to give birth to the Media Development and Diversity Agency. So it's some of the stuff that I've done over the years. I hope I've tried to do justice to the many years of being an employee number. Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity. I'm coming for the third time. I did this last year. I did this in 2024 as well, so it's become home, and one appreciates the opportunity to really share knowledge with young people, to make you realize that there was a time when some of us were not sure about the world we're moving into. So when you're not too sure, it's okay. It's all right. Listen, take notes, but appreciate the fact that at some point you need to take bold decisions and grab the bull by the horn so that you're able to move into the space and do the wonders that you want to do. But believe in yourself. Never, ever, ever, ever doubt yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Big round of applause. That's more like it. May we please have Dr. Nigelwa Tengimfene. Big round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the program director said, my name is Nigelwa Tengimfene. I just want to briefly tell you how I started. I started from what I consider the policy part or legislative part of the sphere of government, which is in Parliament as a research assistant. I moved into government as a speech writer, and I like to underline that writing, innovative writing in communication is a skill that you ought to have and ought to perfect as you go on. I am currently the Senior Manager for Corporate Communication, Branding, and Stakeholder Relations at the South African Nuclear Energy Corporation, which is at what people call Pelindaba. Before that, I was a Chief Director at GCIS and also worked as a Director at the Gauteng Premier's Office. So I want to raise issues. Most of the colleagues are speaking about media journalism. It is one of the sectors within communication. There is the PR, there's also the public, the events management, and also the branding part. And of course, there is also another sphere, which is also my passion, that of communicating, of bridging communication between government and communities. And I must say it becomes quite crucial, especially during this phase of the year or season in the country of elections. It is about knowing what government does and also matching that with what people need, but also simplifying the language so that people can understand. One of the things I'd like to leave you with is I also started from the bottom, and I was fortunate enough at that particular point, someone adopted me as a mentor. And I think it is through holding someone who was already wise enough and experienced enough that I made the breakthroughs that I did. The second part is that I started working with a junior degree, and I've been studying since. I can't go any further, but I can always do research and writing as also a part-time. So never stop learning and never stop studying. The degree gives you a leg in your career, but other than that, you do need to develop yourself consistently. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have Ati in the house. Ati. Athi Geleba.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. I'm so happy I made it here. You guys look so beautiful. I love young people. Okay, as has already been indicated, my name is Athi Geleba. I am in the presidency of the Republic of South Africa, and I'm responsible for digital communications. I basically started in government communications about 20 years ago in different capacities across communications, but I've been doing digital communications since about 2009. And contrary to what a lot of people think I do, which is make funny TikToks of the president, I actually manage the digital communications ecosystem of the presidency. That includes social media platforms, so your Twitters, your Facebooks, your YouTube channels, your TikTok channels, but I also do own media channels, so that's like your websites in the presidency, the newsletters, digital newsletters, and really just managing the online and digital image of the president and the work of profiling the work of the presidency. So that involves strategy development, that involves the management of campaigns, that involves multimedia production. And I'm really here today to hear from you and listen to what are some of your concerns, what are some of your challenges, how we think we can help in terms of giving you guidance based on our experience, but also to say that this is an exciting part of your life where you have a blank slate, you get your qualification, and what's important is that you don't box yourself into a particular field within communications. It's quite broad. There's quite a lot of exciting developments with regards to technologies, artificial intelligence. So I think the most important thing is that you need to keep a broad and open mind in terms of the opportunities that are available for you, and to listen to the experts give you their lessons learned, but to also understand that it's okay to pivot in your careers. You can start up thinking you are interested in a particular part of communications or broadcasting, only to find that as you are gaining more experience, you take an active interest in a different part. It's okay for you to be able to pivot in line with your skills and in line with your talents. So I won't take long, but just to say that it's very good to be here. This is an area I'm really passionate about, and even in the work that I do, I try to ensure that I bring the work of presidency and the work of government closer to citizens, because the thing that is really important in the work that I'm doing is ensuring that we're promoting access to information, ensuring that people are able to take advantage of the opportunities that are available on offer and to make the most of their lives as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May we please have Kiamokgetsi Khomanyane? Big round of applause. Yes. Halala Kiamokgetsi halala.
Halala.
No. Halala Kiamokgetsi halala.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning. I nearly said colleagues, students. I'm used to saying good morning, colleagues. Good morning, students. Wow, I'm really glad my colleague could not be here because I was not supposed to be here. My colleague was supposed to be, but this is such a great opportunity. One thing about him and I, we share the love for mentoring people. My colleague Bright Namaranje had other engagements and therefore he sent me. So thankfully, Bright had that engagement. My name is Kiamokgetsi Khomanyane, and having listened to the speakers, I was like, we actually often are more aligned than we think we are different. I'm listening to the speakers and they're all talking about coming from backgrounds where you have you're confused when you start off often. And then you find yourself in a certain field, and then being an ambitious person, you continue to find your ways, you continue to plow yourself and find your craft. Contrary to Mr. Albi, I was not confused about, was it Mr. Albi or the one before him who said when they were starting off, I think in high school choosing, they didn't know if they wanted to go to law or journalism. That was? Oh, Bongiwe, yes, it was Bongiwe, sorry, yeah. So I was the one who knew that I wanted to do both. But coming from a family where you have to choose one, I chose journalism to start off with. I went on to study at the University of the Witwatersrand, Wits University, that is my alma mater. There I studied media studies, so I did not do direct journalism because when I got there, my mother, again, parents always worried about money, was like, hey, but journalism, yo, hey, yeah, no, I can show, maybe media studies, and then she's like, maybe in media studies you'll find something. So I went and I joined the media studies. I did media studies at the University of Wits. And then following that, I went off on a scholarship to Germany where I was studying. I was doing German. I've always been interested in languages. That's one of my courses. So I can speak German. I speak it very fluently. And then coming back from that, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to go into the working world. And thankfully, being a daddy's girl, my dad was like, hi, my child, keep going. So I went and I did my honors. During my honors, I was like, I'm not too sure about this media studies. So I then asked Vince if it was possible rather for me to actually add on international relations because I was taking an interest in things around globally what is happening. So I did a joint honors at the Wits University together with my media studies. So I was juggling a bit of both in my honors year. Then following that, I then went into the working world and I joined my first internship actually was here at the GCIS, which is where I currently work still. So I joined the GCIS as an intern and I started working at the Government Communication Monitoring and Evaluation Unit. While I was there, I was doing work that I didn't quite understand. Like, what are we doing here? We're reading a lot of newspapers. What is going on? It wasn't really clear at the start. So I got a bit bored and I was like, okay, they also have a unit where they do information sharing. They're always out in the streets. They're always, going to events. Maybe I should join them because I also write a lot and I have the skill of writing. So I then went and I joined what is known as SA News. It's an online publication under the GCIS that writes news stories about all of the government work. So I joined and I went and I explored a bit of that journalism element there. Following that, and then I left and I joined what was known as ANN7. I was actually a broadcast journalist there for a little bit, I think 2 years. And then I saw what my mother was saying about the streets. And then I came back, I was like, yeah, the streets. And then I was like, you know what, maybe let me go back to the GCIS, see what they have to offer. Came back to the GCIS and I returned back to the SA News because it had a bit of at least less unstructured than the media space out there. Came back to the GCIS, worked as an ASD, writing stories for SA News, VOC, and PSM at some point. And then while I was there, the unit that I used to work for, where I didn't quite understand what I was doing there, I just read a lot of stuff every day and was putting it into some Excel sheet. But it was interesting. They then had an opening. One of our colleagues left. I then went and I joined them. And while I was there, they then advertised it and I then got the position, joined and became a deputy director, which is what I'm currently doing at the GCIS. So what does this unit do that I said? When I was starting off, it was starting off very confusing to me. What we do is called media content analysis. Media content analysis is really a form of strategic communication. We look at what is currently being put out in the media. We want to see what the media is actually saying about the work that we do as government. Are we actually seeing that the work that Clio and Albi are doing is actually finding impact and finding traction? Is the stuff that we are putting out as government actually finding traction and making an impact? So that you as the citizen sitting at home or wherever you are, you're able to actually see the work that we're putting out and we're able to then look at that and then improve on that. So that's what I currently do. It's called media content analysis. While I was there, again, in the same breath of finding your niche while you're there, I've always been a person who's always been keen about learning and being interested in multiple things. It's like, I'm a bit bored. Let me study. I went back and I studied law. So I did my LLB while I was still working there. So I got my LLB degree, graduated, I think, 23, 24, thereabout. Then, while I was finishing off my LLB degree, the opportunity came to work on a document, a very, very important document known as the Government Communication Policy. So this is the very policy that actually seeks to do what all these people here do, right? This policy wants to ensure that all the people who are here are actually getting information right down to the person on the ground. We want to use this policy to ensure that we're able to say, is Cleo communicating well enough? Do you know what her department does? Is Albie communicating enough? Do you know what he does? And how is it assisting you? How can you use that information, the work that government does, to actually empower yourself? So that's what I'm currently doing. So you are seeing that there finally becomes, my mouth is becoming dry, sorry, creatine. So when you finally find that full circle moment. So that's where I am currently. But again, I've said I'm always that person who's always bored, wants to learn a bit. I then felt, okay, I'm now entering a bit of middle management work. Let me try upskill myself in that regard. So I'm currently doing my master's in public administration with the University of Pretoria. I'm currently struggling with my research, so yeah. I was listening to the doctor and I'm like, I'm not sure. Yeah, but that's what I'm currently doing. And yeah, I look forward to engaging you. I've been on the other side. I've always been that person who goes to these mentorships and like tries to get information. They are really helpful if you just give an ear, listen. And I would implore you to actually take all the names of the people here. Most of you probably don't know them. But when you start to research, you'll figure out that these are really important people. They're doing some serious work, and maybe you'll find your niche there. Just as a last point, I think, was it IT? Somebody spoke to the element of when you're currently learning, you find new or make yourself pliable to new things. The work that I do in media content analysis, when we were starting off, we were doing it very manually. And now with the advent of AI, and I think you are the generation to really take that and run with it, we're finding that there are so many opportunities there. We're doing what you would know as data analytics or for our media content analysis. So we're exploring a lot on AI. So I would really, really implore you to use that opportunity, find that gap within AI so that you can find your niche very early on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. May we please have Cleo Mosana on the podium?
She's been here.
Oh, she's been. Oh. Yeah. Maputi Mabotaha Mahlaba. I wanted to say it correctly.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the invite to be here. As I was walking through the door this morning, I was like, God is so good because I saw the job application box there at the entrance. I was like, oh, we still hand in hard copy applications. But I remember finishing varsity, looking for a job because everyone was like, the media and communications industry is so saturated. You're really going to struggle to get a job. Applying here, applying there. And I remember physically bringing my application to GCIS. And today, it's so good to be back here again for this mentoring session. I look at you guys and I see myself. So thank you so much for the invite. I work at the United Nations Women's Agency, UN Women. I'm the communications lead there. My journey in my career, so I studied journalism at Rhodes. While I was at Rhodes, I got into Rhodes Music Radio. I loved it and I hated it. I loved it because I enjoyed radio. I liked radio. I hated it because I felt like a nigga cool kid, you know? It's like, oh, all the guys working on radio were so cool, and I was just Maputi from Polokwane, plain girl. But that's where my journey started. And when I completed my undergraduate degree in journalism and politics, I went to go do my honors at Tshwane University. Again, I stuck out like a sore thumb. There were like 2 of us black people in the whole honors class. And yeah, it was very interesting, but I gained a lot from that time. I did journalism and media there. And while I was doing my honors, applying for my master's, I was like, I need to get some work experience. And I love TV, but like I said, I wasn't a cool kid. So I was like, how am I gonna get into TV? Little old me. And so there used to be a talk show on SABC2 called Motswako. It was a Sepedi talk show. And I'd watch the credits roll every Monday and try to catch it. It was before the days where you could pause and rewind and whatever. So I quickly looked at the production company, Carol Bauer Productions, went on the internet. I'm like, I must find this woman's email address. Lo and behold, I found it. And I wrote to her. I said, hello, Carol, my name is Maputi. I'm from Polokwane. I'm Pedi. I like the talk show. Can I come shadow or do something there? And she responded, and she's like, you know what? We're actually looking for someone who speaks Sepedi who can come help with research. So I went to Motswako as a junior researcher. Shortly after I arrived, the person who was producing the show left. I got into the producing of the show, and I loved it, and I think that's where my love for women's issues started. And so I was on Motswako. I did my master's at Stellenbosch, and from then on, I went to intern at Sowetan. Actually, met Bongi there. She probably doesn't remember. She was doing Sunday World. Had a little short stint in the newsroom at Sowetan. And from then on, I went to ENCA, worked on a current affairs program that focused on news from around the continent. I loved it. And then they shut down that department that worked on the Africa news, and we were retrenched. And I was like, what are we going to do? And I got a job at the US Embassy to do media and communications, and that was a very healing work experience for me. So I crossed over the line from media production journalism and went over into comms. And yeah, from the US Embassy, then I came to the UN, and that's where I am today. Can't wait to engage with you guys, to share lessons, regrets, mistakes, some of the big wins, and just hear you guys' story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maputi. Now we're going to start with the business of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd like now to request all the mentors to find their table so that we start with the mentoring. Big round of applause to our mentors.
I also need water to
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin with the speed mentoring. Only 5 minutes on the table. I don't know if you can see, is there a timer on the screen? Do you have a time on the screen? Exactly 5 minutes. So when I indicate time is up, the students have to move to another table, to another mentor, in that order. Not a minute over, we don't delay. That's why it's called speed mentoring. So we are about to start. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. You must ask the right questions. You only have 5 minutes on that table. In a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Time is up. Time is up, but we're going to switch things up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of the students rotating, right? Instead of the students rotating from table to table, can we have the mentors rotate? Please, with the mentors, take your tag, your name tag with. Time is up, mentors. And we're going to start the countdown. We're going to start the countdown in 9. Yeah, I'm so sorry. We're starting the countdown in 5, 4, 3, Ati. Okay, I think we're all settled. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Time is up. Time is up. And we're going to start the timer once again. Mentors? We're going to start the timer in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, the countdown will start in 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes. Let's go. Time is up. Let's switch, please.
Yeah, I think this was a great idea.
Yeah, I think so. It's less disruptive. And also, given that we started late, their mentors were not moving, just watching it from them.
Yeah. I see. There's an empty table. You must come here. Doctor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mentors, we have an empty table this side before we start with the countdown. I don't think, Doctor, you've been on this table. Great. We've got that sorted. We can start with the countdown. In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yeah, this is ordered.
because I know introduced a lot of things. Is it not adding a lot in your corner plate?
This one, it's one of the highlights.
Oh,
It's one of the highlights.
because we were just saying maybe we need to be free to say, okay, can we pause?
At some point, we need to do a gala dinner on the panel discussion. Where the women, they come in dressed in outfits and, move this side. Yeah, just to, bring a bit of a,
Rubber room.
yeah. We pushed it to, because there were others that we added at the time, remember?
Oh, yes, yes. So now, now even the all the numbers should be students. So that's how long it is. By the time the numbers were confirmed, we already signed the process.
Oh, okay.
So
In terms of catering
yeah,
stuff, okay.
so there was a bit of shortage, but we managed it
From the other side.
yeah. So the lunch, I'm not so concerned because I'm not pet food. Lunch, people are going to dish out for them, and at the same time, they normally do an extra. But you said for drinks, you must apply the students first. The staff lunch, so then the staff last. Okay. Yeah. So that's the only hiccup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that my children was very concerned.
She's always concerned.
I just went upstairs to my office and listen. The drama about food, I'm not going to be able to do this. I said, Sam, please handle this. Please handle this because I don't want drama about food right now. This calls.
Yes.
Time is up. Let's quickly switch the tables. I know there's a lot to ask, a lot to engage on. Mentors. We start again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We're missing a mentor. Miss Alvi, over here. Yes. An empty table. Is there a table without a mentor? Please raise your hand there at the back. Dr. Mutsisi, please may you assist.
Oh, shame. No, it's better you touch it. Let me use this one.
It's not an easy thing to organize.
Plus, we are very
Time is up. Time is up with the mentors. Let's check if we're not repeating tables. And we start the countdown. Mr. Makadi. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
So we have advertised for a new vice chancellor. So you can imagine. Yeah, so there's a lot going on currently. Hence the only yeah, there's one who is pharmaceutical.
It's also a good thing to get someone who knows the institution too.
Especially where we are as a university, it is doing a lot. We need someone who understands. It's funny you mentioned him, I don't want to say much. You get me now. Okay, yeah.
I like that man.
Very much. Hey, he's a force. He's actually supporting the financial, the panel discussion, everything, like, Papa, don't touch anything. Don't spend. So all I need now is gifts from iPhone. I spoke to Zelisa this morning. It's promising. So for the panel discussion. So it's for the speaker. There's no expectations. I didn't announce.
Tshwane was very sad.
Because I'm going to put in the budget for 2027, I must put in the gifts as well. How long should we go? Up until what time? I think they've done 3. No, 4. This is the 4th one. I think let's push it. Yeah, let's push it because we still have a Q&A session. Yeah. Where the mentor, the mentees. Yeah, let's do 2. How many mentors do you have?
We have about, how many tables do we have? I think we have about 1, 2, 3. We have about 12 or 13 mentors.
Then it means that we need to rotate. How many times? Because 19 times. Yeah. Funny. Hello.
Time is up. Ladies and gentlemen, time is up. The new countdown starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time is up. Mentors, mentees, time is up. Let's move on to the next table. The new time starts now in 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Time is up. Mentors and mentees. Six more rounds to go. The new timer starts now in 3, 2, 1.
time is up. Mentors, mentees.
Didn't I say 5 earlier? I said 6.
I think the next round starts in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Time is up. Mentors, mentees, time is up. Four more to go, and then we're done. This one is. Have you been to the stage? Mentors, maybe if you've seen a table, can we please swap? That we don't see one table twice. Yeah. Have you seen that? That you have not? Oh, it's only this one left. Yep. Okay, the countdown starts in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Time is up. Time is up. Mentors, mentees, time is up. The new countdown starts in 3, 2, 1.
Time is up. Time is up, mentors and mentees. This is the last round. So this is the last round. Let's make the best of it. But you still get an opportunity because we've got a Q&A, brief Q&A coming up. Mentors, mentees, time is up. And we're going to start the new countdown now in 5, 4, this is the last round. We start the new countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. time is up, but because it's the last round, we're going to give it 2 more minutes. But we can stop the watch on the other side, the timer. Colleagues, let's stop the timer. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly ladies, may I please have your attention, please? We've come to the end of the speed mentoring, but we are moving on to the Q&A. So we don't have to move where we're seated. There's a roving mic, and if you didn't get an opportunity to ask a mentor a question, or you just have one question that has to go to all the mentors, please do ask. This is now the opportunity for you to do that. So it's just Q&A, where we all listen, because there are some conversations that we're not privy to. So now's the opportunity for us to engage as a collective. There's a roving mic. Please, if you have a question from the mentees, please do, whether it's directed to a specific mentor, let's do that. We now start with the Q&A session. But I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun, and the engagement was quite fruitful, wasn't it? Yes. Was it fruitful? Yes. Was it fruitful? Yes. Great, that's how it should be. That's how it should sound. But please, if you've got a question, introduce yourself. The level that you're on, which program, is it journalism or integrated communication that you're studying at the Tshwane University of Technology, and we take it from there. Okay. Any questions? Yes, we have one here. Okay. Please do introduce yourself, what you're studying, and the question that you have.
Afternoon.
Maybe if you could get up.
Everyone, my name is Dikeledi Lishilu. I'm a second-year student studying integrated communications, majoring in public relations. So I have a question for Osai. I wanted to ask what ethical standards does one need to have as a public relation practitioner? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Because when you are working in any organization or institution, what you represent, you not only represent.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause, please. Let's engage. It doesn't necessarily have to be a question. If you've got a comment or you'd like to address, something with the mentor, please. Oh, I appreciate them. You're allowed to do that. Can we have another hand?
Hi, everybody. For those that I didn't meet, my name is Mate. I'd just like to add to Cleo's question, because what is also very critical when we walk into a company or any kind of, that it's not a puzzle shop. Ne? There are values, there's a code of ethics that belongs to that organization. Familiarize yourself with that. Don't go there with your own code of ethics. It's on Zone 5. Ne? You need to have a code of your code of ethics. If it doesn't align with the organization, keep to the organization's code of ethics. Yours is irrelevant at that moment in time. Because when you walk into any space, you are representing that company. You walk in that company's shadow. You are not walking there as an individual. Yes, you are an individual per se, but we must remember who we get paid by and who we are representing. So the code of ethics becomes very, very critical. So always remember that. It's not your code of ethics, but the company's code of ethics.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I allowed to give my biography? Am I everyone? Right. Finished metro 21 gap year, 22. Enrolled in UNISA, wanted to do labor law, and then I flunked out. It was not my niche, and then I right? Integrated communication and enrolled here. Before coming into integrated communication, I was also working at a hotel doing hospitality. From there, do volunteer work for the Community Policing Forum in Clarence, Free State, where I was the youngest chairperson. They wanted to know from the mentors, and I'm done selling myself now. I wanted to know from the mentors, just by a show of hands, majority of us will be doing work integrated learning next year. So I'd like to see that a show of hands from the mentors, please. There are organizations that offer work integrated.
Okay. Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Gamkheze again. At the GSI, and information every, I think, for the work interns who join us and are interested is, and shall I? It's
you some advice to say, don't wait for opportunities to be presented and created, right? Write to different companies. Lot of and you would that
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There is Gonde. How can young journalists stay relevant in a world of social media and citizen journalism?
and in trying for it, but oh,
But there's something that I will tell you, which sometimes may sound cliche. There is value in ethics. There is value
in knowing that you're not doing something for clickbaiting. It might take long. Your clip might have, like, let's say, 500 views compared to somebody on TikTok who would have gotten 10,000 views. And the 10,000 views would probably be somebody spreading lies or misinformation or disinformation, right? And you have 500. You would think that you're not making an impact. But the 500 people that you have reached are going to tell the next person and the next person and the next person that actually there's this, what's your name? Tadziero. So there's somebody who's going to say Tadziero actually has posted something that is true. Then another person comes and watches what Tadziero does. And then the next person watches what Tadziero does. What that does for you is that you become a credible voice. Because ultimately, those who are doing clickbaiting, at some point, you are going to find yourself in trouble. Because what you're saying is not true. So that means it's not an instant game, it's a long game. Because credibility is not built overnight. Aldrin didn't get to be Aldrin overnight. Aldrin worked towards being the name Aldrin that we know today. So that means you fight for credibility, you make sure you stay ethical, even when people are saying to you, Tadziero, actually, you are not telling the truth, that other person is telling the truth, but your journalism ethics must remind you that you have got to be ethical. Because if you're not, and to everybody in this room, if you're in journalism, if you are not and you're doing it for clickbaiting, you're going to create problems for us.
And the problems we have right now of, at times, headlines that don't speak to a story. It's because of clickbaiting, where you have a headline, but when you read the story, there's nothing that links. It is because we're trying to get clicks. But if you stay ethical and you say what has been said and you are accurately saying what has been said, you may not be the popular girl, but you'll be the credible girl. So choose popularity or credibility.
There's a hand at the back.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bridget Zombane, and I am a second-year journalism student. So I've got a question for all the mentors in this room. Okay. So in journalism, we're taught about ethics, that as a journalist, you look at the public's interest. You're more of the public side, right? So let's say your editor says, run this story, and it contradicts or it clashes with your belief system, your values and stuff. What do you do in that situation? Do you run with the story or not? And if you do, how you do it, that's that you're actually biased or not. I'm not sure if you all got my question.
So let me take you to 2003. Some people will remember here, Albi is one of them. We had the report that caused a big problem for this country. President Thabo Mbeki even had to request for a commission. Matata Tsedu, who was the editor of the Sunday Times, received a story from a journalist who says, I've got a big story, right? It always starts like that. Bulelani Nguka was the director of public prosecutions at the time. And the story seeks to suggest that Nguka was a spy during the apartheid era. Tsedu, who was the editor, is then requested to publish this story, right? The journalist at the time went on to give the story to another editor of another publication, in this case specifically. And I'm saying these things because it's not new, it's in the public record, right? The City Press. Now, do you work on the basis of your feelings or ethical conduct? Where is the proof? And this is what Tsedu was arguing. Because if you make such allegations, these were very serious allegations to say somebody was a spy during the apartheid era, you've got to prove beyond reasonable doubt. I can tell you the City Press went on to publish that story. The elders that are in the room will also tell you that the editor of that publication appeared before a commission and was even crying. So issues of ethics are very important. We should not be swayed by feelings or by groups of people who come to us and say, do this, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. But I can tell you, in the end, it is about you, it is about your credibility, and if you compromise that, you are in serious trouble.
Thank you. I think part of the question is when there's lack of alignment between your values and that of the organization. And Mate Nkosi did say, when you join an organization, do check whether there is alignment in terms of what you believe in and what the organization believes in. And if those do not match, so your first 6 months will give you an indication whether there is an alignment. The second part is you are saying, what if what the manager is asking of you is not ethical, or
there is a compromise of values. You do still have a choice. Currently, we are having a Madlanga commission because people did not stand up and people did not record their displeasures at being asked to do something wrong. So one of the things that you could do is to say, during a telephone call, during a WhatsApp, this is what is expected. You expect me to do. And 9 chances out of 10, that person will then face the reality that can I stand at a court of law, in a court of law, and face myself, having given these instructions. So do speak up. Thanks.
There is a question at the back. I think it's from the TUT media team, or the TUT social media manager, who's also a student in the postgraduate student in the Department of Journalism and Integrated Communication.
Good afternoon. My name is Khawkhelo Salani, and like Auspapama said, I am the social media manager and journalist under the Office of the Spokesperson at TUT. My question is an open question. Beyond the qualifications and what is on paper, what qualities make one stand out when opportunities are limited?
Mate again. I know a lot of you who are sitting around here, and most of us, we speak from a privileged position of already having walked the mile before you. But having walked the mile, we also know the things that we've done wrong and the things that, how we've showed up and how we haven't showed up. And it's important, and I'm going to be unpopular with some of the mentors. Education is very, very important. I'm not saying education is not important. You can have 500 degrees, but when you don't show up and you don't shine, they become irrelevant, okay? Your degree will mean nothing. To me as a leader who's employed people and fired people, it's about your commitment. And it's about you showing up and be committed to what you've said you can do. Be a person of your word. If you're not a person of your word, then I'm not going to show up for you. I'm not going to support you, and I'm not going to encourage that you grow in my organization if I cannot rely on you. So I know it's about the first step, getting your foot in. And getting your foot in is always the most difficult thing because, like we say, there are 5 jobs, there are 1,000 people. How do you shine amongst the 1,000? All right? It's about your boldness. It's about your courage. It's about your determination. If you don't have that and you don't want something hard enough, and you're not working hard enough to show that you want it, I'm not going to count you as my number 1. But you've got to show up. And talk like this. And no, talk like you know it. Talk like you want it. And when you do that, then I can say, okay, I see you beyond your degrees. Because you might be a medicine student who wants now to get into journalism, but you've got the art of writing. You write beautifully. And when you show up like magic. I want to work with people like that. And I want to work with people who are cleverer than me. I'm not a leader who doesn't want people to outshine me. Because I look good because you are doing so well. And you need to work with leaders who encourage you and who hold you up. And as women that are sitting around this table, there's always called the boys' club. Boys look after each other. Us as women, we don't know how to do that. And we need to start doing that. No matter that Watrugahanyan. And sorry for those who don't understand, I'm just animated. No matter that you're limping, I will give you a crutch that you continue limping, but there's something that supports you. And as women, we need to do that. When we are weak, we need to lift each other up, right? When somebody's sitting outside and you say, listen, I can bring them in. Bring people in. And you guys, you are going to be leaders one day. Don't forget about your sisters that you know she's super talented. Boys, look out for each other, guys. And I'm not saying look out for the girls who's now going to stab you in the back and do whatever. You know your people. You know the people that you need to look after. Look after each other. Men do that. We need to do that for each other. And that's just my one piece of trying to get in, of getting in. Be bold, be brave. Don't apologize for who you are, because you've got talent and you know it. Don't be arrogant though, because there's a thin line between that and arrogance. Arrogance is not attractive. Don't be arrogant. Thank you.
Those are very powerful words. And I see there's a hand from Bongiwe.
Thank you. You know, I would say that having had the best of both worlds as the head of output, right, and input, and having to interview certain young people, there's a thread I recognized which was very disturbing. A number of young people come into journalism thinking about celebrity status, especially if you're going to do it in television or radio. You're thinking journalism is about being a celebrity. It's about being a change maker. So there would be young people that come in and you say to them, right, would you be willing to start from the bottom and work your way up? And when you say that, they're already imagining all kinds of things, because all they want is to see themselves in front of a TV. Now, when you are on TV without the base, unfortunately for you, you have nothing underneath that's going to catch you when you fall. Because fall you will. It just depends on how big your fall is going to be. And I'm not saying the fall to scare you. There are falls that have become monumental. There are falls that not even the people outside have seen that you've fallen actually, because you've got a base. Now, when you say to a young person, are you willing to start off writing bulletins for the person that's actually reading, they think you are demeaning them. But what they do not understand is that I would ask you to do that because when you are an anchor sitting with scripts that are written, you must know how to write. You must know how to get into the news system, which, for example, Newsroom will use. iNews, we would use, whatever systems that you're using, Dalet, etc. You need to know how to get in there. Fix a grammatical error. Fix a fact that is wrong. But if you are choosing to be celebrity-driven, you will not know how to fix your bulletin. Number two, you'll have an LB sitting in front of you, and they're asking you, something is breaking now, Gahau train, he's on. Nobody has the time to write questions for you. But because you chose to skip that step, now you're going to sit on air and ask LB, what's the latest? He tells you what is the latest. You don't have a follow-up question. Why? Because you did not know how the base gets covered. When I ask you, are you willing to do the stuff that takes you up? I take you to executive level, executive producer level. An EP of a show is the person the buck stops with on a show. But because you do not know what it's like to be behind the scenes and generate content, you'll be an anchor that gets handed things. You'll be told interview Chamano, but you don't even know if that story is relevant or not. You won't know if Ati is sitting in front of you, what can you ask Ati? If Ati says the president is coming and he's about to do a walkabout, you will be so blank you don't even know what to ask the president in front of you. So when we say, start at the bottom and go up, it is not because we are saying to you guys, we are taking your qualification for granted. Qualification you must have, but also have a willing and a hungry heart. Because that hungry heart is going to teach you, you can take me now, take me off air now, and tell me to go and work in a newsroom. I'll do anything and everything. I can tell you what's not going to put a bulletin on air. I can tell you what does it take. I can go into the traffic room and I can tell you how to get packages on. I can go into executive producing. I can do it with my eyes closed. I can go into an editor's office. I can do it with my eyes closed. Take me to content generation. I'll generate a diary for you right now in an hour. Take me to, say, plan a broadcast from 6 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. I can draft a broadcast plan, guests included, research included, questions included, and hand it over to you by the end of the day. But not many of you want to learn that. You simply see it as being on TikTok and going live and you think that's it. There's more to journalism than that. So that is what we do not look for. If you come sit in front of me, there are so many who I would say, are you willing to work? If a protest breaks out now, can you stay with that protest until the end? And a person tells you, but at 5 o'clock I knock off. But at 5 o'clock is when protesters are gathering strength again to block the roads because they don't want traffic. They want to cause mayhem so that the police come and then there's a tension. Do you see what I mean? So that means we're going to miss out on stories because when you want to go home at 5 o'clock. So journalism is not 9 to 5. I hope Tshwane has told you that. It's not. You are on the clock. Funny enough, your mind works crazily because sometimes you are walking around the mall, you see something, you quickly send it to your group. And you say, guys, there's this thing happening. I don't know if you're aware. Because a story is a story everywhere you are. So don't think that when you come into a newsroom, the first thing you'll do will hand over a mic. When I joined NCA for 3 months, I was behind the scenes. I would go cover a story, but I couldn't voice it because I was still getting training. I'll hand over some of my lead stories to be voiced by other people while I was getting training. The 4th month was when I got on air and I could only voice. The 5th month was when I could have a mic in front of me and do a piece to camera. The 6th month was when I could do live crossings. Do you see how staggered it is? After 3 years was when I got anchor training. The 5th year was when I got to be taught how to draft a news diary. So you've got to know that there are steps to follow. And if you come to a job interview and you already tell us about your celebrity status, rest assured we'll pick the candidate that's lesser qualified than you.
Oh, there's a hand.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Tshwane University, and I'm an integrated communication student. Please don't mind me if I get a little emotional, but I just wanted to say, big story today. I didn't want to come here today. I wasn't feeling well. But now that I'm here, I've noticed that I think as students, we underestimate the motto of TUT. We empower people. I was so empowered today by our mentors. Thank you so much. You've opened a different perspective, a different realm. It showed me that there's so many opportunities in the communication space. You guys taught us that don't limit yourself to one perspective. Be brave, be courageous. This is just the beginning, it's not the end. And thank you so much, TUT, for giving us this opportunity so that we can see that, you know what, we are going to be the change and empower more people to join media and make a change in media. And also, I was sitting next to Precious here. She was, sorry.
The camera.
She is so worried about the journalism space because I think we all have a perception people in journalism, they can't make it. Like, you are always going to be on the streets. Like, I'm not sure who said it, but like, someone said it on the stage, yo, Chomi, if you're going to journalism, o tlo feletsa o loko strateng because akona di opportunities. But learning that today, no man, there's actually opportunity and you just need to be ambitious. And there's no such thing as little opportunities. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much on behalf of the Tshwane University of Technology. Indeed, we do empower people. And maybe just to add on that, when AI also came on board, there was a lot of fear, and this is supported by research that we have done also at the university, where journalism students and integrated communication students were a bit worried about, they've heard newsrooms getting smaller, advertising agencies also getting smaller, and hence we started the conversation for the future of work and how, as a student, you should be ready for the future of work, because the landscape is changing indeed. You need to go in not being a qualified journalist only, and you need to be multi-skilled. And I know there was a question, a student that spoke to me earlier about, being ready. How does one become ready? Looking at how AI has, changed or is interfering or is disrupting how we do things in the newsroom, in the advertising agencies, in the government communications department. And maybe if there's a mentor can speak on that as well, because there is that fear from the students as well. Are they ready for the future of work? What is it that they need to do to be ready for the landscape that is changing in the newsrooms, in the media space, in the communication spaces as well? If there's a mentor, Mr. Makadi?
Let me give it a try, but I listened to Bongi. The stuff that she said covers this question. So if you are sitting here and you are a student who is obviously looking for opportunities, the landscape is changing, right? Life is really about priorities. There are things in life that are important, but not urgent. Equally, there are things that are urgent, but not important. So you've got to know who you are. You've got to know exactly what you want. And all of these things comes with sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. You have to. I'm sitting in that Longkloof Studios in Cape Town. You can imagine this, Modise. Some young people are vibing. You've got Camps Bay waiting for you and all sorts of things. From the days of tapes, Bongi, I will sit in that archives department. I did not just come as a reporter, but I want to learn how archivists work. How do you put these tapes together? If there's a story that I'm looking for and I need to put it together on my own, how and where do I find these tapes? So if you think about it, it requires time. You're going to have to go into that office sometimes on weekends. During the week, you're going to be prepared to leave late. But if you want to prioritize Camps Bay, all these good things, Table Mountain, all of these things, I can assure you, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. You're going to have to be very strict. Make those sacrifices, and you really have to. Today, Papama, no one is going to employ a camera operator. Anyway, we are recording this, right? But Lawrence Mbada, who you would know, right? Lawrence Mbada, and I'm talking the country's top camera operators, Frank Holane. These guys, when I think about them, they were taught to be camera operators, nothing else. You can't tell them about X, you can't tell them about Instagram and all these other things. But today, the world of Frank Holane and Lawrence Mbada has changed. As a camera operator today, you are expected to do a broadcast where when you arrive, you are a driver, you are a camera operator, you are an engineer. At the same time, you are expected to cut the material. Now, if you are a young person sitting here, I'm saying to you, you've got to know a little about a lot. Learn all of these things, because the employer who is taking you in, remember, they are also pressed for resources, which is another big challenge. And that's why globally we've seen newsrooms cutting staff. We are seeing it here even in South Africa. Some shutting down. But opportunities are still there. Media, journalism still matters. Why? Because we have a democracy. And this democracy, amongst other things, is going to be assisted by the media to grow. Hence, this craft is still relevant. But I'm saying, in answering your question, Papama, because I'm answering this question, you've got to learn as much as possible. Read. Look for information. Let's use one of our own. Alpha Ramshwana is our product. Before he put a report on EWN, whether you're talking 702 Cape Talk, right? Alpha will be there with his phone, right? I'm here at such and such a place, and this is what the story is about. Check out my report at the top of the hour. Already, social media, it's powerful. It's another instrument which tells you a story before you get it on radio. Learn all of these things. Research. Be in that edit suit. Learn how to cut that material. And that's what people are looking for. Now we're talking about a department, and I must make this quite clear. A department which is obviously now, you call it journalism and integrated communication. Truth of the matter is that we're talking about same world. Right? You've got to be prepared to learn, move from journalism. You want to go into public relations. There are those possibilities, because you take the skills, the lessons in journalism, you bring them to the other side. That's what Mudisa is doing. There was that presser which we talked about. Was it on what was it? It was almost like the Nando style. What was it?
Oh, the Gautrain one.
The Gautrain one.
Okay, yes. I mean, so there was an illegal drilling on our system that happened in March. Was it last year or 2024?
Last year, sometime,
yes, in March, and we had to take the Mickey out of the whole thing, right? So and because, you know, Gautrain is a young brand, 16 years old, by the way. So all young people want to shake the tree, and we thought we were doing exactly that with that ad, and it actually it lightened the moment, right? But I think the point that Tshwane is raising is very important, because the skills that you learn in journalism become very important even if you transition into public relations. The understanding of the media landscape, and I think the tables that I visited, this point I emphasized, and I said, learn as many skills as you can, because as you issue a media statement, it's great for print, right? But Bongiwa television wants the visuals. Record something that goes with that statement, because we spoke about the fact that newsrooms are shrinking, so they don't have enough camera people to go to the stories. So you give them a story. But radio is hungry for sound, right? Record the audio, send it through to them, and you're guaranteed that it's gonna get airplay. So it's about understanding this shift and changes, equipping yourself with skills, but remaining relevant to the craft you've chosen as well. Thank you.
So, Papama, with that, I hope your question is answered. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed, Mr. McCarty. It is answered. Doc?
Let me just add, I think South Africans are amongst the least countries that do not migrate for opportunities. The fact is, the media industry or whatever industry is not big enough to absorb all of you. You have access to internet. Opportunities do avail themselves. And it doesn't mean for others that you'll stay there forever. You can perhaps stay for 5 years, gain work opportunity, the experience, then come back. But there is nothing that forces you to stay in Soshanguve or Soweto when there is an opportunity in London. Think beyond the borders of the country. Thanks.
Do we have more questions, more hands, comments? Maybe parting shots from the mentors? Oh, Aldrin, okay, great.
Yeah. Good afternoon once again. I just wanted to say to the people who are saying that journalism is a dying vocation or career, you should leave journalism. There's no such. And I just want to echo what I said to the people who asked a bit earlier on about the very same question. Like food, journalism is never going to go out of fashion. News is never going to go out of fashion. As long as people breathe, as long as people take decisions which have impact on other people's lives, news will remain relevant. The only thing that's happening now is that we're experiencing a disruption to the media industry. Media houses will now have to adjust around how do we disseminate news and what is our role as a media house in the sector and in the industry as well. And how do we, when we look at a potential journalist, what is it that we expect of a potential journalist? I was saying to one of the groups a bit earlier on as well that I know some people say that, no, I'm not a social media person and I don't want to be on social media and so forth. Unfortunately, the number of followers that you have is also very, very important to determining whether or not we'd be hiring this individual. Because for the newsroom, what's happening is the newsroom wants to go beyond its immediate audience and wants to tap into your audience. And sometimes what you'd find is that journalists and anchors, Bongwe probably has more followers than what her show has viewers, because people trust Bongwe more as the individual than Bongwe being part of the SABC as an institution. But the institution, of course, also brings credibility. So your social media presence is also very important. And then the last one is, just from an individual perspective, is, guys, sometimes we mess up. Sometimes life happens to all of us. But you have to pick yourself up again. And you have to move. Jennifer Lewis, American actress, one of her interviews on the Breakfast Club, she says that you must feel your feelings, feel what you are going through, feel your feelings, but then move. You can't remain in those same feelings. She says, and sorry for my language once again, once you sit in shit for too long, the shit never doesn't smell anymore, because now you are so move. You must find a way to move. And what I have learned is that the way to find that resilience that is required, the strength that is required, if you're not a religious person, tap into gratitude. What are the things that you are grateful for that will help to give you strength for better tomorrow? Because everything is not gloom and doom. There is a silver lining. You need to find what that silver lining is for you, and it may be different to what that silver lining is for the person who's sitting next to you. But never give up. Gratitude is the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think for me, I just want to thank each and every one of you as mentees that are here. At a personal level, I've learned a lot. I mean, the common theme that has been coming on is about job opportunities, internship in government. And as a result, during break, I spoke to one of my colleagues and I said, you know what? You guys have raised something that, because we're in it, we overlook it. If you go to the DPSA website and Precious is there, it's not going to be easy for you if you've never navigated the site before for you to look for an internship opportunity. So it is something I think together with GCIS, we can pitch to DPSA to say the look and feel, access to information, can we not package it easier? So I've learned, and I really appreciate each and every one of you who have just made me a better person today. Thanks.
From my side, thank you guys. Sure, you challenged my old brain. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I want to echo what was said earlier on. Please protect each other. When you get into the industry, please protect each other. Slee knows we looked out for each other when we're out in the field. It's brutal. It's not nice at times. But please protect each other. Just be there. And it's not a myth. The boys' club, by the way, is not a myth, eh? It's not a myth. And the boys have got each other's backs.
They do.
We become the first ones to stab a sister in the back. And unfortunately, there's going to be sisters that you know you love, you hold so dear to your heart, who are going to backstab you. Like Aldrin says, don't stay in those feelings, move. If that has happened, it hurts, but move, right? But please have each other's backs. And where you can, guys, please, where you can, and you're already in, and you're already, it doesn't matter. It's a month on the job, it's a day on the job. Pick up somebody, take them on the journey with you. I look back, there are many people that will come to me and say, you remember, you said this to me when I said it. Some of them I don't remember, because we look out for each other. Please look out for each other, guys. There's enough room for all of you. I know that at times the competition makes it seem like there are no opportunities, therefore you must backstab each other to get the next opportunity. The more you backstab, you have to keep backstabbing for the rest of your life to keep those opportunities. But when you understand that what you offer is a unique skill, and there's no other person who's a Bongiwe, so allow Bongiwe to be Bongiwe, and come in and be you. Maputi will be Maputi. But please do not backstab each other to get things. I beg of you. Protect each other with everything you have. If you see a sister, right now we have kids, and at times your child is not well. You can't even go to your boss and say, please, may I have 5 minutes? But if you have an institution, like you see right now where I work, I can go and say, today I need to rush. I need to go and do this. I don't have, my child needs to do this at school. Everybody's gonna rally, and they're gonna say, go pick up your child, go. That's the kind of support you need. You're gonna need that. You'll be mothers, you'll be wives, you'll be individuals that have got things that are happening in your lives. The more you have a protective and a supportive space, is the more you'll be able to even follow your dreams even harder. So create that space for other people. Don't just be a consumer of spaces. Create a safe space for young women who are coming up after you. But do not be the one that shatters dreams. Don't be the one that goes onto Ati's page and starts to tear her down. Be the one that if you see something that Ati did not do correctly, correct her on the side. Don't make a public spectacle of Ati. If you see Bongiwe walking crooked, don't make a public spectacle of me. Be the one that goes into the side. Let people know you as that guy that they can fall on, and you'll catch them. But this thing of us as women, that we start and we say we are going to backstab each other and rise through just up the ladder, climbing on top of people's tears. At some point, the people's tears you are actually have been taken for granted, they'll be your downfall. So I beg of you, protect each other.
Okay, there's 2 more hands. Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to have these conversations. For me, my parting shot, and I think I said this a few times today, is that for a lot of us, our biggest challenges, our biggest hurdles, the thing that's going to stop you, that's going to slow you down, that's going to make you not get to where you want to go, a lot of that is internal. It's not the external factors. And so my parting shot is that work on you. I was talking about the fact that if you are at the table, settle it in your mind that you are there because you belong there. If you are in that program, you belong there. Don't be looking, hey, little old me, maybe it's not me who should be there. And I feel like my biggest regrets in my career are around times when the opportunities have come and I did not grab onto them with everything because of the self-doubt, because of the narrative and the internal dialogue that was happening in my head. It wasn't other people, you know, they could contribute, they could be, but the biggest problem is usually internal. So my encouragement to you is that as you are studying, as you are getting the hard skills, the things that you can learn as you go, prioritize doing the inside work, being comfortable with you. The narrative you tell yourself about yourself is actually the most important one. Thank you.
Ke a leboga, everybody. This has been very, very heartwarming. I like to share with young women a lot of the time. This is not my first experience. This is one of many experiences that I've had. But I'd also like to there's a gentleman who spoke about being on social media and building your brand on social media. And I'm speaking from a marketing and advertising perspective, that you must also be aware of the danger of that, right? When you don't set up a credible brand. And Usisibongiwe actually spoke largely about that. Your credibility is going to count. If you're going to put yourself out there, understand that people are going to tear you down that don't even know you. Just because of one little sentence that you said, or one assertion about somebody, you know? So also understand the brand that you're building, you've got to be consistent with it. It's got to sing true to who you really are. Not istagwa one day, and on social media you are this person. Because somebody is going to catch you when you are outside doing the wrong thing and want to put it on social media. So when you start integrating and being on that space, brands will run away from you. Brands won't want anything. Oscar Pistorius is a prime example of that. He was on a big billboard before he shot his girlfriend. In 24 hours, all the billboards in the country came down. So those are the things that you've got to be aware of in building a brand. That I'm building a brand that has staying power. You can't have a brand that one day you are this, one day you are that, you are schizophrenic. Don't do that. So when you think about doing that, do it intentionally, strategically, to flourish you going forward. So just be careful of that. Don't be a social media, I was going to use the wrong word, but don't be a social media person, you know? Understand the power of social media. The medium is very, very, very strong. All of us, we just get online, and then we share. You don't even know. People have lost their jobs about things they've said on social media. So be careful. Even when you think you've got the wisdom, you know, sense check yourself. Sense check yourself 100 times. Not just twice, 100 times. So that the message you put out there does not impact your future. It builds your future. I don't do social media because I talk a lot. And I know there's things I'm going to say that are offensive and that are direct. And they may be truth, but they're not truth for everybody. They're truth to me. So just understand how the medium works before you engage in the medium. But guys, you've got an amazing career. I always say writing is so amazing because you set what the conversation is in the country. You become the voice of the country. You set the tone. You build the brand. SA tourism depends on a lot of what journalists say. So it's not a dying career. Yes, it has morphed. It has become something else. Adjust. Don't be stuck in, you still need to write on A4. Back in the day, people were writing with typewriters when I joined the industry. It then changed to computers. Now I don't have to write anything. I just have to put in a prompt and edit it. I'm not a writer, I'm not a journalist, so I do that a lot, because I want quick work. I want things to be done. But also reading is essential. Read and read 100 times before you send those things out. And as writers, you need to read your work multiple times for it to be right and to go out to the public. You set the tone. You set the tone for the country, and just understand your responsibility and how accountable you are for us as a nation. Thank you, guys.
Slindile, I think, can you please pass the mic to her?
Thank you. I don't have a lot to say, but honestly, this has been really engaging. I hope all of you took something out of this. I think when I first started, when we introduced ourselves, I said there's a wealth of knowledge in this room, and I hope you guys really soaked it all up and are going to actually practically apply a lot of what you've been taught here today. Like Aldrin said, like Usisbongiwe said, this industry can be brutal, but I think I said it to almost each and every table here. I don't do what I do because I want to be famous or I like money. I literally am just passionate about journalism, about information and about journalism. And it doesn't feel like a job for me. That's why I can do this for 12 hours a day, every day. So you need to think about the why. Why is it that you want to be in this industry? And that is really going to motivate you and put you where you are supposed to be. And like one of our other colleagues said, the opportunities aren't just here. You can go overseas, you can pursue so many alternatives. Communications is such a wide spectrum. It is not just PR, it is not just broadcast journalism. There are just so many different things that you can do. And I'm telling you now, practice makes perfect, So I did not wake up also being great at what I do. I'm really great at what I do because because I invested in my skill. So just invest your time and yeah, do what you love. I just really want to encourage you to do what you love. Thank you.
Indeed, do what you love. Is Artie here for parting shots? I'm putting you on the spot. Can we get a mic for her, please?
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm still here, but I'm also I'm here in multitasking. I think for me, I first of all want to take this opportunity to really thank you for the invitation and for the time that I've spent with all these brilliant young women. The future is really bright and the future is still very much ahead of you. And I want to echo what the fellow mentors have said. And for me, I think the most important thing as you're starting out with your careers is to not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself in terms of the opportunities that become available to you. Oftentimes you'll find that your first job might not have anything to do with what you have studied. Take that job. There is no experience that is a waste. There is no skill that is a waste. Take it, learn from it, and Do not limit yourself, because there are no wrong moves. There are no wrong decisions. Even the mistakes that you will make, and you will make mistakes, are there as an opportunity for your learning and an opportunity for your growth. Do not allow yourselves to be stagnant. You might be applying for jobs and responses might be slow to come in. Do not allow yourselves to sit at home and rot. Every opportunity when you are a young person must be invested for your growth. Whether you are learning, and learning these days is not applying to university and doing a professional qualification or paying for a course. You have a cell phone. It is an opportunity for your growth. It is an opportunity for your learning. You do not have excuses. So do not limit yourself. Everything that you experience in life is there for you. There's no skill that is wasted. I think the previous mentors have said that if you are more well-rounded and more comprehensive in your offering, you'll be able to, to have that much more access to opportunities. So if you are like a photographer, think about the ways in which you can make yourself relevant. And the way that I want you to look at social media is that it's an opportunity for you. So I'm saying don't allow yourselves to be stagnant, and if it means you are going to go help out at your church, you are going to go help out at the corner store, you are going to help out in your aunt's business, and your business has got nothing to do with your interests, do not allow yourself to be stagnant. So that's a very important point. You also need to use opportunities to define yourself. You do not go out into spaces without having a clear understanding of who you are. And that's what you use your experiences for. So whether in your private life or in your public life, you use experiences to help define and refine who you are. So don't worry about what people are saying about you. Don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about what your friends are doing. When you have a clear vision for your life and you can clearly define yourself, then your friends are not competition. Use their experiences to enrich yourself. What people say about you, whether things you're doing are perfect or not perfect, don't worry about that, but be clear about how you want to define your values for yourself. So the world does not shock you. The world, like if now the wind is blowing to the west, you also blow to the west because you don't have a clear understanding of who you are. Ethics. I want to talk a little bit about public service as well. Ethics are not a minefield when you have clearly defined your values. So if you know who you are and you know what your values are, then it is difficult for other people to influence you towards a direction that is not in line with what you seek to achieve in life. Public service. I'm in the public service. Do not go into the public service if you have no intention of serving the public. A lot of what you do in public service is not necessarily rewarding in terms of your personal life, in terms of your salary. Our salaries are never enough in terms of your own, your own ambitions and your own aspirations. A lot of it carries a responsibility that will not necessarily have an immediate value for yourself, but you generate value for the broader public. So you have to have an inherent ability to want to serve communities or to want to serve beyond just your own interest. Otherwise, you will not be fulfilled. Part of the challenges that we're having is that you have people in the public service that do not necessarily have an interest in serving people. As a result, you try to access a healthcare service, you go into education, you don't get access to the services that you need because that person does not have an orientation of putting other people first. And lastly, how you derive confidence is from your competence. You become confident because you are competent. So as far as possible, strive to be competent in what you are doing. Do it as much as possible. Do it under many different circumstances until you become very good at what you do. For me, that's another way in which you are able to open up opportunities for yourselves. I don't think that you should also worry about whether, journalism is going to be obsolete. Storytelling will never be obsolete, and I think Aldrin made that point. What is changing is the attention economy. You need to understand that, because we are all fighting for attention. What all social media is that we are following people's attention. And that is always going to mutate in a dynamic environment. So if people's eyes are on social media, use social media to spark interest. So don't use it as there is value for short form content. So use it to spark interest. But consider the fact that a lot of citizen journalists, for example, will, do real-time, breaking news, report it as it happens. But the extent to which you are going to get expert opinion and you are going to get analysis is not going to come from every ordinary citizen with a phone. So there's a tendency to say that today everyone with a cell phone is a journalist. But I think because you are a trained professional, you have an opportunity to use the platform of social media to spark a public interest on a topic that you can then provide long-form content on. You can tell stories that go more in-depth, that provide more analysis, and you use social media to drive audiences to those particular platforms where they're able to interact and engage with long-form content. And lastly, I want to wish everyone luck, and I want you to remember that it's about enjoying the journey, and you will make mistakes. Do not put yourself under pressure. Mistakes are a good thing. You will get criticism. That is also a good thing. So all of those things in combination, all of your experiences, whether they are good or they are bad, in combination, are actually good in the long term in terms of defining exactly who you want to be. And I do wish you all the best, and I thank you for the opportunity as well.
Thank you so much, Ati, for those profound words. Kiamokhetwi? Yes. Just parting shots. Can we please have a mic this side?
All right, is it now good afternoon? Good afternoon, everyone again. Firstly, thank you so much for the opportunity. I think we take it for granted how these small exchanges can really, really shape or impact you in a bold way. Not just you guys, but even for us. We come out with new knowledge, renewed ways of doing our work. And I think for me, the one thing I really want you guys to take from today is to be a person who's really interested. Journalists are people who are interested. They are interested in people, in things, in everything. And that's not just journalists also. The most successful people are people who are really interested in something. Find what that thing is for you, but for journalists, you need to be interested in a little bit of everything. Be interested. In Setswana, yeah. Be a person who oratandilo. They often, I think, and parents like to dismiss kids who are like that. That's important because it's going to take you far. Become a person who wants to know anything and also ask the questions and be firm in who you are also. I think I had a question and it reminded me of myself where the person said, you know, I'm not really into social media, and we're talking a lot about social media. I'm not a people's person. I don't speak well. Find your niche, find how you then bring that into the space. The person was saying, I think they said they were a great writer. What they know about themselves is that they're a great writer. How do you then use the tools around you to bring out that writing? Or where do you use it in the platform that suits you or suits, as was spoken about, the ethics? So finding a company that will allow you to work in a way in which you then thrive as the person that you are. But more than anything, please be interested. Please be, to be interesting, you must be interested in something. That's how you move ahead and you get knowledge. So the people who are here, the HOCs, the experts are people. They are interested, they like things, they want to know. In Sizulu. So be that person to be a successful journalist. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
I think we've covered all the mentors. Not? All right. Oh, there's a question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charmaine Banda. I'm a second-year journalism student. Well, I only have one question, and I'd like to say that this event has been such a confidence booster in one way or another. So my question is addressed to all the mentors here. Can you please give us tips? Ne? Most of us, hopefully next year, we are going for real. Ne? And it's going to be our first time being in an interview session. So can you please share handful tips of how we can go about carrying ourselves during those sessions of interviews, the etiquettes, the mannerisms that we should have to make that first good impression with our future employers? Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think we'll work together with GCIS and put something together that we can share with everyone. Yeah, and probably give it to the TUT team.
Yes.
Right.
I think that would work, yeah. Thank you. So now in closing, may we please have Tshwane once more to just share the closing remarks. And then we're going to not break per se, it will be the end of the session. We go out for lunch and network, and there'll be a photo session as well. But let's give Tshwane a round of applause, please.
Good afternoon. Earlier it was morning, now it's afternoon. I think I just want to say, first of all, thank you once again to all the mentors for giving your time. Even though we ran over a little bit of time, I'd like to apologize for that. But I really appreciated how the conversations were interactive. And I think just looking at the faces of the students, it shows that this was really worth it, and we should come back next year. Should we come back next year? Okay, we're definitely coming back next year. So, I mean, my words are very few. Just saying thank you to everyone, to our partners, Tshwane University of Technology. We really appreciate this partnership. Without you, we wouldn't be able to deliver such a beautiful program. And I hope that we can expand it in many different ways, including the suggestion by Cleo, that maybe we look at work readiness as well, but from a very practical point of view. So I hope the learners, you took all the words of motivation, all the pointers, everything that was shared with you, and that tomorrow, it will be you standing at the stage and not myself and Papama, or it will be you sitting at that table mentoring someone else. So with those few words, I just want to express my gratitude again to the mentors, to the mentees, and to the team that I lead at Domestic Media Engagement. Thank you so much, colleagues, that we've put all of this together, and to the GCIS colleagues that have also helped to put this together. Thank you very much. And colleagues, now lunch will be served. For the mentors, we're going to go back to the boardroom we were in, and for the students, we're going to go to the first floor, and I think we will also take some group pictures. And Dadenzwe, if you can just guide me. Are we taking a group picture for the mentors? Yes, for the mentors. Okay, we'll take it here on the stage. All right. Thank you so much, and see you again next year. Thank you.
With the students, may I please request that you remain seated? There's a little something that we have for you. So please do remain seated before you go for lunch. But the mentors, let's proceed to the boardroom, right? Or for the picture, yes. Okay.